Some NBA players become legends because of their scoring titles, MVP awards, or All-Star appearances. But there's another group. Players who had never heard their name get called on All-Star Weekend, yet still shape the league with their skill, toughness, and impact. They hit clutch shots, anchored defenses, and even carried teams deep into the playoffs, all without the recognition that comes with being called an All-Star. These are the 10 greatest players to never make an All-Star team. Number 10. Cedric Maxwell. He was the ultimate under-the-radar Celtic who won a Finals MVP without ever making an All-Star team. On a squad loaded with Hall of Famers like Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, and Kevin McHale, Maxwell did the dirty work and shined when it mattered most. A crafty 6'8" forward with feathery inside touch, Maxwell averaged 17 points, 8+ boards, and nearly 3 assists on well over 50% shooting during his late 70s to early 80s peak. He bullied defenders on the block, lived at the free throw line, and crashed the glass hard every time. And in the 1981 finals, he outplayed a young Larry Bird, leading the team in scoring with ruthless efficiency to grab the finals MVP. Maxwell wasn't flashy, but he was money in big games, and undeniably one of the most underrated champions ever. Number 9. Lamar Odom. A 6'10" point forward way ahead of his time, prime Odom could do it all: handle the rock, thread no-look dimes, snatch rebounds, and swat shots. In his first decade, he stuffed the stat sheet with 15.6 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 4.4 assists on average. The only players matching that across those years were MVP big men like Kevin Garnett and Chris Webber. Odom was the Lakers' X-factor, a lanky lefty who'd grab a board and gallop coast to coast, Euro-stepping past guards like a ballerina in a power forward's body. He embraced a sixth-man role by 2009 and won 2 rings, but sacrificed personal glory for team gold. His unselfish, smooth style rarely made highlight reels. Yet every coach knew how unguardable this guy was when he had it rolling. A true underappreciated glue guy with all-star talent, Odom's versatility and team-first mindset made him the Lakers' secret weapon for years. Number 8. Marcus Camby. Defense, defense, and more defense. Camby was a one-man SWAT team in the paint. He never wowed with scoring, but prime Camby was the league's preeminent shot blocker and rebounder, patrolling the lane like a condor with his 7'5" wingspan. He led the NBA in blocks 4 times, made 4 all-defensive teams, and even snagged Defensive Player of the Year in 2007. For well over a decade, Camby averaged a double-double with 2.6 rejections and 1.0 steals a night. No other player put up 10+ points, 10+ boards, 2.5+ blocks, and 1+ steal over that span. He had a knack for swatting shots into the third row and ripping down rebounds in traffic. Teams knew to think twice before challenging him inside. Journeyman or not, Camby's impact traveled with him. He anchored every defense he joined. He's the unsung hero who proved you can dominate a game without scoring a single bucket. Number 7. Ron Harper. Meet the other MJ of the late 80s, a high-flying 6'6" guard who was stuffing stat sheets like Jordan and Clyde. In fact, across his first 8 seasons, Harper put up over 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game, a combo only Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler also pulled off in that era. He was an above-the-rim scorer in Cleveland and LA, tomahawk dunking in transition and slithering to the rim at will. Harper could drop 30 on you and lock down your best player the same night, a long-arm defender who made life hell for opposing guards. Knee injuries slowed his scoring, but he reinvented himself as the savvy veteran starter on the 90s Bulls and early 2000s Lakers, snagging 5 championship rings as a defensive stopper and leader. He never got an all-star nod due to insane guard depth around him, but Harper proved his mettle by evolving from a skywalking scorer into a championship glue guy. Versatility defined his greatness. Number 6, Andre Miller. The professor of point guards, no flash, just pure class running the show. Andre Miller was never the fastest or the most athletic, but he was a genius floor general who always made the right play. He led the league in assists in 2001-2, dishing 10.5 dimes a night on a poor Cavs team. In fact, Miller is the only player ever with at least 16,000 points, 8,000 assists, and 1,500 steals who never made an all-star team. Talk about underappreciated. He put up a quiet 14-7 for what felt like 15 straight years, often posting up opposing guards and tossing alley-oops with pinpoint precision. His old man game aged like fine wine. Remember when 37-year-old Andre dropped 52 points in a game out of nowhere? He wasn't into self-promotion or SportsCenter highlights, so coaches and diehards were the ones who knew his true value. Miller was the steady hand every team loved, and a big reason so many young players flourished next to him. Number 5, Jason Terry. That's Jason Terry in one word. He wasn't just a reliable scorer. He had a flair for the dramatic, and a championship tattoo before he even won a title. As Dirk's right-hand man in Dallas, Jet would take flight off the bench, bombing threes and drilling daggers with his infectious confidence. He averaged 16.8 points and 4.7 assists through his prime years while shooting 38% from deep, a level of all-around backcourt production only all-stars like Chauncey Billups and Steve Nash matched in that span. Terry ranks 8th in NBA history in three-pointers made, even ahead of LeBron James. And when the 2011 finals came, he outplayed LeBron head-to-head. In the Game 6 clincher, Terry dropped 27 points on Miami, many of them cold-blooded buckets that sealed the Mavericks' upset title. He lives for the big moment, yet never got an all-star invite since he often came off the bench. But make no mistake, with his signature headband and jet plane celebrations, Terry was every bit as lethal as the superstar guards of his era. Number 4, Lou Williams. The underground GOAT of scoring off the bench. Lou Williams made a career out of entering the game and instantly getting buckets. Tough, off-balance, acrobatic buckets, armed with a deadly crossover and a pump fake that fooled even the best defenders. Lou Will won 3 Sixth Man of the Year awards, tied for the most ever. From 2015 to 2020, in his 30s no less, he poured in 18.2 points per game as a reserve. His best season in 2018 saw him drop 22.6 points and 5.3 assists a night for the Clippers, leading the team in scoring and absolutely cooking starters league-wide. Williams was the guy your favorite player would shake his head about, knowing he'd torch any single coverage. He didn't have the fame to get fan all-star votes, but every coach knew this man was a walking bucket. From Philly to Toronto to LA, he embraced the microwave role and became the clutch closer for multiple teams. Lou's career total of 15,000 plus points with 0 all-star nods speaks volumes. He's a legend of the grind who let his game do the talking. Number 3, Rod Strickland. Arguably the best point guard of the 90s who never got to shine under all-star lights. Rod Strickland was a wizard with the rock, a playground handle, slick no-look passes, and a fearless knack for finishing at the rim. During his peak from 1993 to 1998, Strickland put up about 18 points and 9+ assists per game, second only to John Stockton in dimes over that stretch. In 1997-98, he finally led the entire league in assists at 10.5 per game, all while dropping nearly 18 a night himself. He had 4 seasons of at least 17 points, 8 assists, and 1.5 steals. A stat line matched at the time only by Tim Hardaway and Gary Payton, both multiple-time All-Stars. Simply put, Strickland was doing all-star things without the all-star love. Why no nod? The 90s guard pool was stacked, and Rod played on some mediocre teams that didn't get noticed. But ask anyone who faced him. Rod Strickland could go at your favorite Hall of Fame point guard and give him 20 and 10 on a given night. He was handle before handles were cool. A true NYC point guard who left defenders in the dust. Number 2, Al Jefferson. Old school back to the basket brilliance. Al Jefferson was a throwback beast on the low block, with pivot moves for days and a feathery touch off the glass. Big Al put up all NBA numbers year in and year out. He had seasons of 23 points and 11 rebounds, 22-11-2, 21-11-2, bona fide all-star production in the post. In 2014, he was rewarded with an All-NBA third-team spot, yet still no all-star nod. Blame it on playing in smaller markets and the midseason timing. At 6'10" and 280 pounds, Jefferson wasn't jumping over anyone. Instead, he'd use that big old caboose to seal defenders and go to work with pump fakes, up and unders and hook shots. He almost never dunked. Gravity was not his friend, but still scored at will. In one game, he dropped a 40-point, 18-rebound masterpiece. Big Al was double-teamed like a superstar for much of his career, consistently commanding respect on the scouting report. Unfortunately, he toiled on lottery teams and in eras dominated by flashier forwards, so he never got the spotlight of an all-star game. But make no mistake, on the low block, Jefferson was as skilled as any Hall of Fame big man. Number 1, Jamal Crawford, the king of the crossover and the godfather of instant offense. Jamal Crawford might be the flashiest player never to make an all-star team, despite breaking ankles and scoring 20,000 points in his career. In fact, he holds the record for most career points without an all-star selection, 19,419 and counting. A 3-time Sixth Man of the Year, Crawford perfected the art of coming off the bench and lighting up scoreboards. Shake and bake crossovers, 4-point plays, you name it. He even dropped 51 points in a game at age 39, just for kicks. With that skinny frame and yo-yo handle, he'd lull defenders to sleep, then cross them into oblivion. Coaches often said you can't guard him, just pray he misses. Jamal's omission from All-Star Weekend is crazy when you consider he hit more career points than many All-Stars and sank the 8th most three-pointers ever. But he never cared about politics or padding stats. He embraced the sixth man role and became a folk hero for hoop fans everywhere. Handles for days, buckets for years. J Crossover's legacy proves you don't need an all-star label to be one of the most impactful hoopers of your era. Honorable snubs. We've got to shout out CJ McCollum, who strung together 8 straight 20-plus points per game seasons in Portland, but was overshadowed by bigger West guards. Jamal Murray, a playoff superstar, has yet to get his due thanks to injuries and a stacked conference. Mike Bibby, the clutch king of the early 2000s Kings, went head-to-head with legendary point guards and never got the nod. And guys like Richard Jefferson, a 22-plus PPG scorer in his prime, and Derek Harper, 2-time All-Defensive Team member, also narrowly missed the cut. These players all had the talent and moments worthy of an all-star, They just happened to play in eras or situations where the spotlight shone elsewhere. They deserve to be remembered among the best to never bask in that all-star glow.